I'm going to demo the MCP server for Ref. Ref provides documentation for your agent. We've taken all the platform, API, library, service docs that you care about, and all the versions you care about, and indexed them in a format that's easily digestible for an LLM. By easily digestible for an LLM, that means we've taken out the chunks that matter and removed a bunch of the tokens that don't. Removing all those tokens means it's both faster and cheaper and also more accurate to work with documentation from Ref. So let me just jump into an example. Suppose I'm a developer working with Figma's API. What are the parameters in Figma's post a comment API? So we'll ask Claude, what does it think? It's going to go ahead and use Ref to search. And here we go. It's giving us the answer. I happen to have worked on this and know that it's accurate. But what I want to highlight about Ref is that it's provided its source, and it's not only provided the source of the documentation, but the specific spot on the page that we care about. It's very easy to check, and I think that's what makes Ref particularly special. But there's actually one more thing that makes it special, that behind the scenes, Ref is looking at your code base and understanding exactly what libraries and packages and versions you're using. So this is all happening behind the scenes. I've added this stack command for the purposes of a demo. But here we're looking at the Ref stack, and we can see that the modules is the term for like documentation pieces, but you can see Ref itself is using Firestore, Firebase, Braintrust, etc. What it's showing us is these are the modules that Ref itself has indexed about my code base, and there are actually some that are not indexed in relation that my code base uses. Why this is important is Ref not only has all this documentation to search, but it looks at your code base to know what you're working with specifically. Cool. One more thing I want to highlight. One more thing. I talked about Ref using less tokens and why that's valuable. So there are other search MCP servers. I use Tavily. I think it's a great server. It does general web search, but not documentation search. And I think when you focus on documentation, you can be more optimized. And that shows up in the cost, the literal dollars and cents you spend on your LLM coding tool. So if you look at Tavily, I've made the same request about cores and Firebase. It costs about 13 cents when I do that in Klein. When I do the same query with Ref, it costs about 8 cents. That's a 35% savings. To give you a sense for what that looks like, why that happens, you can see in Tavily there's all this like extra stuff because they're focused on general web search, not just on documentation. Whereas when you go into Ref, you can see there isn't all this extra noise. All that other stuff has been removed. Okay, great. And then for the purposes of this hackathon, I do want to highlight what I built during the hackathon and what I didn't. So previously, I had built the search index. That already existed with an API endpoint. What I built during the hackathon is the MCP server and the capability to ingest your code base and compare it with the existing search index. So that would be these two tools, the stack tool and the search tool. One thing I want to highlight about the MCP approach I took is the really pushing Claude to return sources. I think one of the valuable things about Ref is the sources, so I added some extra prompting to encourage that, as well as the behind the scenes ingesting your stack so that when we go to search, the search information actually, the modules you're using are actually available. You can see here the module names are available without you having to have put that in. Ref just knows what modules you're using. Cool. Thanks for watching.